Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Saba show. Today we're doing round 3 of the Dice Footy Championships. As you can see on the screen right now is the results from round 2 and how the ladder stands basically after 2 rounds. Quick reminder for those who are new around here, videos for this series come out every Thursday at 4 p.m. on the dot. So if you want to stay notified about that, subscribe to the show and like the video if you do enjoy. This feedback is much appreciated. You can obviously pause the video if you'd like to, scan through the results and stuff, but without further ado, let's dive right into round 3. We're going to kick things off with 2 teams who have not lost a game so far in this series. It is the Bulldogs and the Swans. We'll start things off with the Doggies, and they kick 5 goals, won. A very accurate quarter to start proceedings for round 3. The Swans return the favour with kicking 5 goals of their own, and they will take the lead through behinds. Bulldogs, man, they are kicking very accurately in this first half. 11 goals, 2 from them, and the Swans, well, they've fallen behind. I mean, it wasn't going to be sustainable forever, and they've fallen victim. The Bulldogs progress even further in front. They should correct that to 16 goals, 5. And the Swans, they're going to have a colossal quarter to have any hope. And 4 goals, 2. I'm not too sure if that is enough. It is. Actually, no, it's not. They are finished. And, we were requiring a pretty low score from the Dogs in the last quarter, but they have been exceptional. And the Swans end things off with 4 goals, 3. And they end up losing by a pretty considerable margin. The D's and the Bombers face off. They are neighbours in the table standings right now, and the D's start things off much similar to the previous fixture. They kick 5 goals, 4, and can the Bombers kick 5 goals, 1? No, they can't. 2 goals, 5 for them, so they've got a bit of ground to make up in the final 3 quarters, but plenty of time. But there won't be too much time if the D's are going to pile on the scores, which they did in the second quarter. The Bombers scored the least you can possibly get in Dice Footy, and that usually puts you at a major disadvantage. The D's, I think they've won this one. I think this was well locked up as a victory, and we could have our first blowout win on the cards for the season. The D's are already up 8 goals, and they kicked 6 goals, 2 in the last quarter, which doesn't bode well for the Bombers and their percentage, which is ever important. They kick 6 goals, 5 to close things off though, and they will be pretty happy with that considering their first 3 quarters were absolutely abysmal. We have a couple derby matchups this round. It is the showdown between Adelaide and Port Adelaide, and Jesus Christ, the Crows, who I don't think have won a game this season, or they may have won 1, but they've started off very strong, and the 7th place Power are no match in the first quarter, so I don't know who's kicking the goals for the Crows in the first quarter, but the scoring dries up in the second, and this allows the Power to get back into it as they kick 6 goals, 3 of their own, and they lead by a goal at the half, so they look down and out at quarter time. The Crows, after a pretty poor second quarter, well, they've fought back into the game relatively well, and that sends them to 13 goals, 13. And 2 goals, 4 for the Power means they are down by 19 at the final change. And can the Crows seal the deal? No, they can't, and they've left left the door ajar for the Power to potentially win. They need 5 goals and 6 goals, 1 for the Power, so that means they've won. Come from behind victory, and the Crows will be absolutely disappointed with that. We have a cellar dweller clash here. The 2 expansion sides going head to head. Obviously not expansion anymore, but the GWS Giants kick 6 goals, and this has been a common trend across the league. In round 3, the Suns, 5 goals, 2 from them, and this is a pretty entertaining start to a game which obviously features 2 sides that are lower on the table. The Giants, very, very good start in terms of accuracy. The Suns, however, on the other hand, well, they've tied the game at the half. Inaccurate quarter from them. Third quarter is a 3-goal quarter for the Giants, and that sends them to 12 goals, 7. And the Suns kick 2 goals for. So this is a game that hangs in the balance at 3/4 time. It's a 7-point lead for GWS. And the Giants may not have done enough. The Suns will need to kick at least 21 points to seal the deal. Could we have a draw? Oh my goodness. They've won it by a solitary point. Jesus Christ. And we have our first 1-point victory here. Unbeaten Collingwood are taking on the Geelong Cats, who aren't doing quite so well as they have done in, well, the last decade. The Pies start this one off with a 3-goal-4 opening term. The Cats return the favour with a not as good quarter. They kick 2 goals 3, and the Pies lead by 7. Second quarter now, and that is disappointing. 4 goals 7. I mean, is this first half going to come back to haunt them? The Cats haven't really capitalised, though. It is a low-scoring half on both sides. Possibly some wet Melbourne weather contributing. Third quarter by the Pies is pretty good, I guess, in the context of the game. The Cats, 5 goals 1. That is a huge quarter by them. They pretty much double their score. They double their goals. Last quarter for the Pies is 4 goals 6. And inaccuracy could come back to haunt them. They need 21 points as well to get the victory here. Is it going to be? Oh, yes. Never in doubt for the Geelong Cats. And they win this one by about 3 goals. The Lions will be looking to get back on the winners list after they lost their round 2 clash. And the Kangaroos, well, they haven't won yet this season. The Lions start things off with 3 goals 2. North, can they return the favour or do one better? And boy, oh boy, they do. Bottom place North Melbourne kicking the highest possible score in the opening term to kick themselves off, with a pretty good start. And the Lions can't even get to their score with 2 rolls. And North have just absolutely exploded out of the blocks. They've kicked 78 in the opening half. The Lions, nah. I was going to say they need something special, and that third quarter hasn't really delivered. So North Melbourne here kick 4 goals 3, and that propels them to already 103 quarters. I don't think anyone saw this coming. The Lions give themselves a bit of a percentage boost, if you will, with a solid last quarter, but obviously they're still going to get flogged as they concede another 6-goal quarter, and North crack 140, bottom place North. That last game is very reflective of how Dice Footy can work and how fortunes can change very quickly. Carlton are playing the Hawks here. Carlton haven't won a game yet. Hawthorn won their first fixture but have lost their second, and they had an opportunity to take a pretty commanding lead, but they've been pretty inaccurate on the scoring front. The Blues flipped the script in the second, and instead of kicking 1 goal 6 like the Hawks did, they kicked 6-1. We're going with a little bit of a slower roll here, as I forgot what I had to do. Hawthorn have kicked 4 goals 11 and a half, so could be a few issues for them there. The Blues have another 6-goal quarter, and it looks like we're getting back to the Hawthorn of old. They are trailing, oh god, they've kicked 17 behinds in 3 quarters, and the Blues are going to, rack up their first win for the year, and they needed it. 17 goals 8 is their final score, which is very accurate for them. And Hawthorn only managed to muster up 8 goals 19. So the Blues have done a pretty easy job at winning this one. It's first place versus last place, sort of. St Kilda versus Richmond, first versus 17th. The Saints kicked 6 goals in the opening quarter against the top-ranked side in the first couple of weeks. And they hold a 26-point lead going into quarter time. Second quarter for the Saints sort of crashed back down to earth, and they are 57 points at the half. The Tigers, man, they're getting well held by the St Kilda Saints. 3 goals 5 for them in a half, and they're down 40. And the Saints, I think they're going to pick up their first win of the season as well. So we've had a few upsets in this fixture. And the Saints have 93 in 3 quarters. The Tigers, well, they've just been disappointing. They did not rock up in this Sunday afternoon clash. And the Saints, well, fam, 21 behinds in a game of footy. That is Not great. I think you need to practice your goal kicking in training, but the Tigers, they closed this one out. Finishing out on 77 points, but they got killed, even though the scoreboard doesn't really show it. We were talking about how this is the round of derbies and rivalries. We've got another one here. It is the Western Derby, and West Coast start things off with 6-6. So we've had some very high scoring quarters here in the third round of the season. The Dockers, though, you know, did not match that, and they could be in a little bit of trouble. Oh my goodness, the Eagles, man. I think this is our first 12-goal half in the season, and the Dockers have just not rocked up. They're already down 10 goals in a half a footy. They're getting blown out, and the Eagles crack the ton, and the Dockers better be hoping they don't get another 1-goal quarter here. Oh god, that's not much better. They've got 4 goals and 9 in 3 quarters of footy. They are getting walloped. They've got to hope they don't get a 6-goal quarter here, and they don't. You know, if it wasn't for, inaccuracy, it could be a lot more, and the Dockers get a little bit of a consolation prize, but still, not really helping them at all. They lose this one by a hefty 8-goal margin. And as you can see, these are the results from the round. A lot of teams picking up their first win of the season against some pretty decent opposition in the world of Dice Footy. You saw a lot of teams getting flogged as well. And we also had our first, thriller, I guess you could say, between Gold Coast and GWS. Big wins for Carlton, big win for North, big win for St Kilda. Those are the 3 teams that picked up their first win of the year. And we only have 2 teams that have not lost a game and 2 teams that haven't won a game. So you're going to see a very, very even table, I guess you could say, throughout the course of the season. A lot of teams will be on the same amount of wins, and it really just comes down to percentage, which is really important. But if you did enjoy this one, drop a like and subscribe. As I said, every Thursday 4 p.m. is when the rounds get released. And yeah, that's about it from me. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out, everyone.